Hello everybody, this is Kathy, and I'm here today with my August project for CarolinesCraftTree, and I'm using her Digis called Gnomes, and I'll be making a tunnel journal, and let me show you the Digis that are in the Gnome collection. I think they're beautiful. This one has lines. And this one's pretty. You can see the binding threads, some dragonflies. And the gnome pictures are so pretty. This also has lines. And this is great for a background. It's kind of a muted picture with the gnomes at school. And here's another background picture. So pretty. Here's another lined page. Beautiful color. And this is really cute. You see the gnomes peeking their heads out around the sides with the cute places to journal. This is another muted look. Large mushrooms, birds. Beautiful. And another muted look. And if you look closely, there's some writing in the background, some text, and some little cute little ladybugs. More lined, and it looks like coffee stain in the back. Cute. The Hobbit house, or the gnome house. And here's a giant mushroom. And here's a background. It could be the back of your sheets or a standalone. Coffee dyed. And here's a coffee dyed lined page. And those are your pages. There's 13 pages in all. And then we have some beautiful journal cards. So pretty. Brightly colored. And I will put the link in the description box. I love this with the bee. And him riding the giant grasshopper. And these are pretty. These are postcards. And they have a muted background with some text, some stamps. Here are some guest checks. And then some fussy cuts. Here are more fussy cuts. And then there are some envelopes and stamps. This kit has everything. And here's some smaller little envelopes. And another larger envelope with some tickets. Okie doke. Let's get started, and I'll show you. This will be in several parts. I'll start out on this video with the basics, with what I did for the base of the journal. The first thing that I did is I knew I wanted to make a small journal, a small tunnel book with a journal inside. So what I did first is I blew this up. I wanted just this house, so I blew it up so that I got something that was this size. And as you can see, I cut off the each side, and left only the house and the chimney. That's the first thing I did. The next thing I did is I knew I wanted, in my tunnel book, I wanted 2 mini journals. So what I did is I took the 13 pages, which I showed you, that were these, and I printed them out. So they printed with, you know how you get the option to print 1, 2, 4, 6, at least on my printer. So I printed, I believe I used the 6 on a page. No, I used the 4 on a page. And that gave me the size that I wanted for my mini journal. So I did that, and I folded them. I haven't sewn them yet. And then each signature will have 14 pages. I am going to be adding some tracing paper and some deli, etc., deli wrap. And then for the covers of the mini journals, I took the cards and I used them as a cover. So instead of cutting them and using them as separate cards, I cut them out together, and then I will stain this, ink it up, and this will be my cover on this one. On the back, I printed the coffee dyed, and on the back of each of these pages, I either printed coffee dyed or the stripes. So they're front and back. And I did the same thing here. I'm going to put those aside for now, and then I'm going to show you the next thing that I did. And the reason I'm showing you rather than doing it with you this part, because I didn't want to make this first video be so long, but I wanted to be able to, because it's kind of tedious work in the beginning, but I wanted to be able to show you what I'm doing. The next thing that I did, I took black cardstock, and I figured out, using my circle dies, how many pages I wanted for the tunnel book. The tunnel book is going to be separate than the book that I put my 2 mini journals in. My 2 mini journals are going in like this in this book that is going to be in the back of the tunnel book. So the first thing I did was I cut out the cover that I had blown up, the front of the little house, and I glued it on the black cardstock. And I knew I needed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, I cut out too many, I think. 2. So I don't need that one. The next thing I did is I used Tim Holtz's embossing folder that looks like wood. And I ran each piece through my embossing machine so that each piece has the look of wood. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to use my die cut machine, and I'm going to cut the circles out to make the tunnels. And in order to do that, I'm going to do it one at a time, starting with the cover. The cover's going to have the largest circle. I'm going to place the circle there. I'm going to tape it down. Tape it down to where I want it, which is right there. And I'm using this surgical tape or medical tape, or it's pretty easy to come off. Doesn't stick too much. So I'm going to run this through my die cut machine, and I will be right back. I'll take that off. Next time I'll know to put a tiny piece on. And right away, that's where my first circle's going to be. Next, I'm going to put the next one behind it. I'm going to clip it together because I want to put the next largest circle in the correct spot. I'm going to take a smaller piece of tape . And I will be right back. Okie doke, I'm back. And this is the next piece. Okay, let's make sure it lined up and stayed there where I want it to be. And that's good. Now we're coming down to the next piece. Next piece is this size. And that's going to go right there. I'm going to try to tape it inside the circle. Okay. And I'll be right back. I'm back. It's much easier when you tape inside the circle. Make sure it's lined up properly. And this is the tedious part. And what I did with the nesting circles, I went like every other circle when I was lining it up. And a little one. Okay. Almost done. I'll be right back. Okay, that one's done. And one more to go. What I think I might want is another size here. Then this one. Or maybe that one. than that one. That's better. Let's take this off. We are going to be using this. Clip it. And this is the last one. So I think that lined up pretty well. The next thing I have to do is, save those in case I need them, is next I'm going to, before I even decorate them, I'm going to place hinges on them so they can open up like a book. So in order to do that, I'm using some ribbon, and I got this ribbon, Place and Time. I think I probably got this at Hobby Lobby. Maybe. I don't know where they sell Place and Time. But it's kind of nice. It looks like a moss. And I know whatever I do on the front, after I put some texture and such, I do want to make some moss growing up the side of the house, etc. So I thought that would be perfect. And I've cut my ribbons so that I have 7 pieces. And my hinges are going to go on just like this. Now, I don't really need this wide of a ribbon, but let me see. I think what I'm going to do is I am going to use it at this width. And then I can always trim off the excess. And I'm going to sew this down the sides. Am I going to sew it? Yeah, I think I'm going to sew it. Or am I going to glue it? You know what? I'm going to glue it because I don't necessarily want stitching to show. So let's glue it. And I'm going to glue this rather than the ribbon directly. I'm going to put the solid side out. I'm not worried because I can always trim it. And the other side, the most important thing is making sure that the holes are where they need to be. I don't mind if they're off center a little bit because that'll just add to it. But I do want to make sure that there's actually holes. Let me get a wet wipe. And there's actually holes in the right place. So the next one, I'm going to do it on this side. And I'm going to line this up. And line it up. And I am leaving some space there because I don't know I know I want to put some embellishments and some charms and things in between. So I'm not making it so thin where there won't be space. Now the next one, I'm gonna line this up. Whoop. We keep it clipped. Clip it up. And fold this. And I'm going to put in one side at a time. And this side I do have to put the glue on first. And fold it. Now fold it. I'm cognizant of lining up the hinges so that one's not sticking way out over another. Okay, this is going to have to be glued under there. Let's go to the next one. Okay, and I'm going to transfer the clips to the sides, just like that. Now behind all of this is going to come the actual regular journal. But in order to do that, I need to put in the signatures. I'm going to do that now. I want to add some tracing paper. A couple of pieces. And put in a few pieces of book page. Okie doke. So let me measure this. And that gives me 2 pieces, one for each signature. This. And piece of book print. We'll put that in somewhere. Here. Oop, I don't know where. Oh, Dodo. 5. So this goes in here. This goes in here. Music paper. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And again. Oh, I have 3 pieces the same. I have to check my papers. Let's do it this way. Okay. Now I need to sort my papers because it looks like I have a bunch of the same papers. I am going to bind these, and I will see you on part 2 where we start our decorating. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye.